On Larry King Now, funny man George Lopez, the St. George star, opens up about his recent less than saintly behavior.
I was not driving. I was in a casino. It wasn't like I fell asleep in a Fresh and Easy or a Whole Foods.
Are you alcoholic?
I think I am.
And dishes on politics and sports.
I'm a little bit disappointed in the president in how he's treated some Latino issues. I'm sad to see Derek Jeter go because I've seen his whole career. I'll be sad to see Kobe Bryant retire when he retires. Those things affect me because those guys are part of your life.
Plus,
do I eat burritos? Absolutely. Do I love beans? Yes. Would I not go to the doctor and try to drink a 7-Up instead? Yes. All of those things could be pertained to be stereotypical. They're just part of my natural behavior.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. I was laughing already. He's a good friend. He's actor, comedian, producer, and former talk show host, George Lopez. His new show is called St. George, about a successful entrepreneur with a messy personal and family life. It airs Thursdays at 9 p.m. on FX. It's a return visit for George, one of the first guests on this program.
In your house, yes.
That's right. Is St. George the right title for this show?
Well, you know, historically through TV, I Love Lucy made sense, How I Met Your Mother makes sense. St. George is not the best title for this particular show, but then again, it is because it's about a guy who is trying to find some balance in his life after a divorce and trying to connect with a child and trying to, you know, date and move forward. So yes and no.
We'll get to the show in a while, but
yeah.
There's a famous line in The Death of a Salesman. Willie Loman is asked, what happened in Boston, Willie? So I'm going to say, what happened in Canada, George?
Yeah.
What happened? Where was it?
It was at Caesar's Palace in Windsor, Canada.
That's a city that's below Detroit. Not many people know that.
Well, that enough.
Detroit is north of Windsor.
That enough should drive you to drink. But you know, I drank a lot. Larry, a lot. I mean, I'm talking about.
But you weren't driving.
I was not driving. I was.
You had finished your show?
It was before, so I had a day off. I was off that day. I was not driving. I was in a casino. It wasn't like I fell asleep in a Fresh and Easy or a Whole Foods. That could have been embarrassing. But
Were you at the tables?
I was in the bar and trying to find my way to my room, and I missed it by 25 floors. But you know, the thing is, here's the thing, recklessness is one thing, you know, being irresponsible is another thing. So I'll take the responsibility for that. You know, a lot of entertainers, you know, they claim, they blame fatigue or dehydration, or I took the hit. As a man, I took the hit.
Wait a minute, I don't understand something. You weren't, Frank and Dean used to get drunk every night in Vegas, and they'd carry them out to their rooms. You got drunk at a hotel in Canada.
Yes.
What TMZ, see, there's no life left, no private life. Okay, you weren't driving.
No.
Are you alcoholic?
That's a good question. You know, I've never answered that question. No one's ever really asked me. But I will say this, that my relationship with alcohol has never been a good one. And it's not been one where you say, oh, I've had a couple of drinks and I enjoyed myself. It's always been to excess. And
so you have a problem.
Well, you know, the joke answer would be, are you an alcoholic? And then I would say, I better be with all the stuff that I've drank. But I would say that I think there's part of me that I have to say, I'm going to say honestly to you because I appreciate your friendship, that I think I am. And I've never dealt with it before, and it's never been a thing where it's been enjoyable. It's been to numb myself. So in understanding that I'm numbing myself for other things, I've not enjoyed alcohol, and since I got up at Windsor, I haven't had a drop of alcohol, nor do I intend to have a drop of alcohol in the future. So am I an alcoholic? Currently, no. Was I when I fell in Windsor? Yes.
I had a lucky heart attack. I was a smoker, 3 packs a day, had a heart attack, never smoked again. Was this a lucky call for you?
You know, I think it was. You know, I was reckless, and you don't want to be reckless behind the wheel. You don't want to be reckless around people. It's embarrassing, and it's embarrassing for, you know, for people in my life. And but also, I'll tell you this: it's a little bit eye-opening because, to be honest with you, you know they always say you know who your friends are. I've had some people rally around me, and I had some people distance themselves from me. So,
really?
So I think it's a blessing because it is a sign that I need to stop drinking, but also it's a sign that I need to see who are the people that are around me. And really, what people are using you for the purpose of being an entertainer, and what people really care about you as a person.
I'm around you, George.
Yeah.
I know people get, but you're not cured by one thing. You have to, if you think you had a problem, it ain't ended by just having the incident occur.
No. I'm seeing my guy that I've been seeing for 14 years, and I'm on the path. Yes.
Tell me about St. George. First, how this you don't need this, right? You got stand-up success. You may be the richest comedian in show business. That's been written. Or if you're not the richest, you're not in the below the top 5. Okay, that's what you don't need this.
Well, you know, it's a wonderful. You know, being on TV is an honor. You know, and the first show was a bit of lightning in the bottle, and the fact that it's been on or not been on in the last 14 years. So, you know, Bruce Helford, who created the first show, was a guy that I wanted to work with. Matt Williams and David McFadden, who did created Roseanne, and they created Home Improvement. Those were the guys who were the other guys I wanted to work with. So an opportunity came up, and I love those guys. I love creating, and I'm honored to be back on TV. Whether it continues or not, I'll deal with that. But the 10-week run is, I'm enjoying it.
And then you had the talk show.
Yes.
How long did you do that? 2 years.
2 years. And that's a. I mean, I don't have to tell you clearly, but that is a gig for only a selected few people. I read in Esquire magazine. I believe the article was about Jay Leno, and it said that is the toughest job in show business. And after coming out of it for 2 years, I have to agree, it's very difficult.
I understand you have an unusual arrangement with FX. How does it work?
Well, you know, this is part of that 1090 deal. They air 10 episodes, and based on the performance of the 10 episodes, they determine whether they will continue the series into the 90 or not. So, or possibly move the series to another network if FX decides not to pick it up. But Tyler Perry had success with it. I think Ice Cube had success with it. Charlie Sheen is part of the 1090, and then I'm the next show.
And how many have run?
To date, 2 have run, and 8 will continue to run. But it's interesting because, you know, I think that people think that they know me from TV or from the first show, but not a lot of people really know me personally. They might know the public persona, but me as a person, they don't. So it's interesting because social media is in effect now when it wasn't 10 years ago, and everyone is a television critic. Everyone is a commentator on your personal life. Everyone tries to tell you what you should do better. And it's interesting, you know, I listen to it, it doesn't affect me because, you know, it really never has. But it's interesting how people who, everyone's human, everyone has issues, how they would tell you how to live your life instead of really concentrating on how to live their own life.
How's St. George doing?
I think so far it's doing okay. You know, the demographic, the 18 to 49 demographic, it's not as strong in, but this never really was an 18 to 49 show. So. But FX is, I believe that they're happy with the performance to date. You won't really know until all 10 episodes air. So
have you finished all 10?
All 10 are done.
Coming up, we'll talk politics with one of my favorite people on the planet, George Lopez. Stay with us. We're back with George Lopez. He stars in St. George, 9 p.m. Thursday nights on FX. He was one of my first shows when this show started. That was in 2012. All right, I'll ask one question. Do you have regrets?
Oh, yeah, of course. About life?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a tremendous amount. But listen, I think everybody does. You know, it's interesting. You know, I lied a lot. I regret the fact that as a child, I had to lie to people to make my life seem better than it was because it was bad.
So you fantasized.
I would fantasize or create things that didn't exist because my life was so sad that I wanted it to seem at least average. So I regret lying, but then it became a thing where I lied all the time. But now, at 52, I can honestly say that I don't lie anymore, and that it's been quite a journey. But to be a completely honest individual is it's refreshing.
Are you politically active?
Well, I'm not as much now, but I was in President Obama's campaigns, the first and the second. If I get asked, I consider it Very seriously. I just don't throw my own thing towards anybody.
Are you less interested in politics? Has Obama disappointed you? Have you changed?
I'm a little bit disappointed in the president in how he's treated some Latino issues, and I think the taxes are too high.
Well, he said recently that maybe they are doing too many deportations. He's the most deportation president in history.
He is the most deportation president. And also, you know, Latinos have never really been, I'm not going to speak for all of them, but our vote has been very important.
More important every day.
And it became very critical in the re-election campaign. So I would say that we deserve a little bit more integration in the fabric of this country than what we received in the past.
2040, you will be the majority.
We will be the majority. And also, we're not a perfect culture either, so we need to be more aware of the topics and political issues and deal with them individually and instead of as a group.
Well, of course, he's a lame duck president. Do you expect him to change in the immigration area?
You know, the next 2 years are going to be very difficult to see something change. I'd like to see him actually get very aggressive, and since he does not have to run for re-election, do some very shocking things.
So, do you ever wonder, since we're a nation of immigrants, why there would be so many people opposed to the immigration question with regard to Latinos? Why do people... except for Native Americans, we're it.
It's an interesting question, you know, and in Europe and around the world, diversity is embraced. The use of different languages is embraced. And it's a little ignorant of this country to target a group of people who, you know, immigration reform has to be changed. But I don't think that Latinos are hurting this country. I think they're helping this country.
I think so too, and a lot of them come here to take jobs that people don't want to take.
That argument of somebody taking a job away, I'll tell you, Larry, if an immigrant takes your job, your job sucks.
And you do a lot of that, and you do a lot of the acting, and you do a lot in your act.
I do.
Are you favorably inclined toward Hillary?
Well,
what you know.
From what I know, I would be. I would be. You know, I would be. I would be inclined for a female president in theory. I think it's time, and if it was Hillary Clinton, then I would support her.
You are Catholic, I would imagine.
I'm Catholic.
Are you like Jackie Gleason used to tell me, a roaming Catholic? Not a Roman Catholic.
I'm a rogue Catholic.
A rogue Catholic.
With roaming tendencies.
What do you make of
I'll tell you this. If your Catholicism is based on where you sit near the altar, I'm toward the back.
What do you make of Pope Francis? He's a rock star.
He's a rock star. Pope's, but JP John Paul. I saw John Paul in the Vatican, but he is a rock star, and quitting as Pope has never been done before. So that was shocking as well for a Pope to resign.
But this Pope seems refreshing.
He does seem refreshing. He's a Latino, by the way, isn't he?
Yeah. He's from Argentina.
He's from Argentina. So a Latino Pope, absolutely.
Got to be your guy, George.
I'm surprised he don't have kids.
How do you stay so healthy? You're tan. You're so vibrant.
Well, you know, it's a thing. You know, I live a predominantly healthy life. You know, I have triggers that go off, and then I abuse myself a little bit. But understanding those triggers has helped me. And you know, I take pretty good care of myself.
George Lopez, he stars in St. George. We have a common love, and that is sports, and we'll talk about it next. Don't go away. We're back with George Lopez, a great career he's had. He stars in St. George Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on FX. Let's talk some sports. What do you make? It's kind of sports and political and social. What do you make on the thoughts of the NFL trying to ban the N-word?
Oh, well, I have to say that I'm opposed to the N-word. If the NFL, if it's become an issue on the field, but I think you can play football without it. I think we can, as a society, live without it. So the NFL has a huge problem in the fact that these guys continue to break the law when they're not on the field. And that's an issue that any business should address, and the way that they do it. So that's an issue to get addressed. But also, the game is bigger and faster and stronger, and the words are more hurtful, and it's time to put that in check.
Now, a lot of blacks use the word with each other. They use it as almost an affirmative way.
Yeah.
By the way, do Latinos have a word that they use among each other that they would regard?
Way. G-U-E-Y.
Yeah.
Way. ¿Qué pasa, way? Way is like an ox. It also means kind of like an idiot.
Really?
But it also is a term of endearment.
So if I said it, it's offensive, but if you say it to a fellow Latino, it is
Well,
not.
if you said it and say, hey, wait, come over here. If you have a good relationship already, he would not get offended by that.
What do you make of, you use rough language.
I love the fact that you and I are talking about the word way. I think it's
I
great.
never heard of it before. I never heard the word.
TV right there.
What is there, you use rough language
I do.
in your act, right?
Yeah,
you always
I do.
Have you?
I always have been adult. Even before, sometimes stand-up comedy is adult. And, whether you do kids' movies or you do a show that's a family show, that domain is for adults, and I'm very adult.
Lenny Bruce used to say, why do words bother you? It's kind of crazy. It's insane.
People are so sensitive, Larry. Listen, the actual word of a stereotype is too easy, or racist is too easy. You have to look at what's being said. This country has things that happen naturally in a culture. To talk about them is not stereotypical only to a person who doesn't agree. Do I eat burritos? Absolutely. Do I love beans? Yes. Do I have Latinos in my yard working? Yes. Would I not go to the doctor and try to drink a 7-Up instead? Yes. All of those things could be pertained to be stereotypical. They're just part of my natural behavior.
So me with knishes. Okay.
Do you eat a knish? Have you had
I love knish.
A bagel?
Bagel. I own a bagel store. Brooklyn Water Bagel on Beverly.
Right.
Come on.
That's not stereotypical.
Bagel
it's financially...
bagel has become universal. Burrito is now universal.
Yeah.
Pizza's universal. Okay. Let's discuss now the more important thing, the Dodgers, how they look.
Oh, they look fantastic. They look great. They are, I would love to see another World Series. It's been 26 years, but it's time. They look fantastic. The stadium is great. The ownership is great. The team's great, and we have exciting players. And
Got to get Kemp healthy.
We got to get Kemp healthy. But there's nothing like Dodger Stadium on a twilight night or sitting there at any time watching a baseball game.
Nothing like it. Nothing can compare. What do you make of Derek Jeter going out?
Well, I've been a huge fan of Derek Jeter, Hall of Famer, and he knows. I think when you know in any part of life, and athletes sometimes hang on a little bit too long. But I'm sad to see Derek Jeter go because I've seen his whole career. I'll be sad to see Kobe Bryant retire when he retires. I was, in high school when Magic was drafted and became a Laker. So those things affect me because those guys are part of your life. And part of the different decades of your life. So, to see those guys go is
the sports. The beauty of sports is
it's beauty. It's time.
I'm sorry for people on sports fans because when they get up in the morning, what do they?
It amplifies your life.
And we don't know who's going to win.
And you don't know who's going to win. And boxing especially. I have a picture of Evel Knievel in my bedroom. And he is midair at Caesar's Palace. And it's a black and white picture that he signed before his death. And the beautiful part of that, people ask me, why do you have that up there? Because at that particular moment in his life, he doesn't know whether he's going to make it or miss it. And it's kind of
he's a hell of a guy.
Overwhelming.
He was a hell of a guy.
I've never met him, but one of my idols.
I used to interview him many times. His sister's a wonderful girl. His sister's name is Loretta Young, same as the famous actress. His name was Young.
Oh, I didn't know that. My dream would be to own an Evel Knievel walking stick.
Oh, I'll try to get you one.
One of the things I would love that.
Who do you root for living in Los Angeles in pro football? We have no
LA
team.
Kiss, the football arena team. I'm going to support the Kiss football team. because I like Kiss and I know the guys, and I want to see football. I'd love to see professional football in Los Angeles. I think we can support a team, even though we are a little wishy-washy as far as support is. But we support the Dodgers, and we've always supported the Lakers and the Angels. But
How about the Clippers?
The Clippers are doing
sold out
fantastic.
180 straight games.
Yes, they are fantastic. I have to wish them well.
They could win it all.
But if they do, it will break my Laker heart to see the Clippers succeed.
Wait a minute. You don't want you're that bad?
I know. I'm not saying it. I said it break my heart.
Giants?
They have a fantastic team. They have a fantastic team.
Come
but
on.
covering up our championship banners when they play home games, I understand why Doc Rivers would do that. But
that's Doc. Hey,
go get some banners.
That's our court. He says. Hey, when we're there, it's our course, not the
They
Lakers.
gave us the worst beating that we've ever had. They did stuff that you don't do in practice during the game. So I'm a little bit hurt, but hats off.
So who do you root for in the NFL, or do you just bet?
Well, I'm a Chicano, so I have to root for the Raiders. I have to be a Raider fan because Chicanos, it's almost inherent that we support them.
Why? They're your kind of black.
When they were the black and gray, blue collar thugs, Al Davis would take guys that nobody else wanted. It's that kind of thing. And if you ever want to buy a hat, you can just go to a liquor store.
Is Michael Jordan the best basketball player you ever saw?
That I ever in my yes, but Bill Russell. I offended Bill Russell by saying that he was not, but I told him that he played when white guys played. But Michael Jordan, I miss Michael Jordan playing basketball.
Yeah. George, we'll take your questions. We'll play a game If You Only Knew next. The great George Lopez is St. George, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. on FX. We have some social media questions. Stu Duad tweets, I'd like to know if you prefer stand-up comedy or sitcoms.
In my heart, I prefer stand-up comedy because it is reckless as you want it to be. It is as liberating as you want it to be. It is the only free form of expression really left. And it has been my constant companion in my life since I was 18 years old, and my best friend and the most reliable thing that I've had in my life.
And having done it, having gone on the road telling stories, I love doing it. The one thing about the stand-up, you never know.
You never know. But
on that stage, it's just you, baby.
You never know. And there's a lot a lot of boxing in comedy because you're in there and you're in there by yourself. And many people could have gotten you there, but when you're in there by yourself.
Bryson Knox, Facebook. What made you create another show involving you after the success of the original George Lopez show? I mean, why try to top it?
Yeah, I'm not trying to top it. What I thought was that there was cultural things that were happening that needed to be that brought up, great in sitcom form. The cast is tremendous. Danny Trejo plays my uncle, and David Zayas, who was on Dexter, plays my cousin. Jen Lyon, who was on Justified. Olga Meredith, who was on Broadway, and myself. And it is Diana Maria Riva, who was on Bridge. Great cast, great people to create with, and not a better job in TV than starring in your own sitcom.
Okay, we end each show with a game called If You Only Knew. You remember the first girl you ever kissed?
I did.
What was her name?
Eva Lopez.
Eva Lopez. And where was it?
It was in San Fernando in the back alley of her house.
How old were you?
I was 12 years old, and the whole time I kept thinking, why is she trying to put her tongue in my mouth?
She tried to put her tongue in your mouth.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Whatever happened to her?
I think she got married and had some kids.
Person you confide in?
I confide in Lee Trevino, the golfer.
How's he doing?
He's great. He's in great shape, and he is my closest confidant.
Still funny?
Absolutely.
Oh,
and our lives parallel each other if you look at our lives. So we've had the same. But he's one of my closest friends.
And a pretty good golfer.
Great golfer.
If you could have one thing named after you, what would it be?
I would have in honesty, I would like to have a school named after me.
Best advice you ever got?
Giselle Fernandez told me years ago to be bold, and it's the best. I've been bold with great results, and sometimes I've been bold with some bad results.
But it's better.
But I've been bold, baby.
Better to be bold.
I'm no other way.
Favorite stand-up comic?
Richard Pryor.
If you had the chance to change something in your past, what would you change about yourself right now?
If I could change, I would not have drank at all. I drank at an early age. You know, culturally we drank, but I've seen a lot of people destroy themselves around me and friends of my friends and
It
fathers.
never hit your health?
No.
What makes you laugh every time?
Cheech and Chong and some slapstick kind of comedy.
You like Laurel and Hardy?
I do like Laurel and Hardy. And Cantinflas and Charlie Chaplin, those guys.
Cantinflas.
Yeah.
Oh, was he great.
Our equivalent to Charlie Chaplin.
If you were stuck on a desert island, could choose only 3 items to take with you, what would you take?
I would take my golf clubs, I would take a guitar, and stuff to put in my hair.
Things that keep you up at night, what do you worry about?
What do I worry about?
You don't worry about money.
I don't worry about money. I'm not up at night, but I that's a good question. Well, I don't worry about anything.
I don't think we've ever discussed this. You were very, very poor, right?
I was.
Okay. What's it like to have been very, very poor and to be very, very rich? What do you think about the times you were poor a lot?
Every day. Every day. You know, Peter Guber told me to always maintain an attitude of gratitude. Every day, I am thankful for what I have, and I don't think in terms of who I've provided for. That's up to them whether they appreciate it or not. But I appreciate achieving everything that I've wanted to achieve when I was 11, and alone, and poor, and helpless, and really kind of abandoned. And that I could sit here with you, who I've admired my whole life, and tell you honestly that I'm proud of what I've become, and prouder of what I'm going to end up being, and happy in my life and appreciative of everything that I have.
You're a great guy, George.
I love you, Larry King.
Love you, George Lopez. George Lopez, Thursday night. Watch him with St. George. It airs 9 p.m. Eastern on FX Thursdays. Don't forget it. Thanks to my guest, George Lopez. And remember, you can find me on Twitter @KingsThings.